And we are back with more on News Talk Saga 960. So very glad you could join us on this edition of the Mark Petrona Show. Well, Andy Lee, of course, has been on this show a number of times talking about the various stories that she's been working on. She's an independent journalist. We very much value the work that she brings to Saga 960 every time that she's had a story on the burner. She usually manages to blow it wide open. But is she a Russian operative? Is she spreading Russian disinformation? Well, that's the talk from the University of Calgary. The Department of Public Policy has issued a report. They've named a number of people who could be spreaders of Russian disinformation. Andy herself saw this and was frankly flabbergasted, couldn't believe that this had been the case. And the fact that she was outlined and identified as somebody who might be spreading Russian disinformation. Well, at first she laughed about it, but then she thought, well, you know what? This is something we need to talk about. She is actually camping at the moment. I don't know exactly where. Andy, where are you right now?
Hey, I'm actually in a caboose. So I'm at Aspen Crossing.
Okay, try not to move around too much. Try not to move around
because it's be loud. So yeah, but anyways, yeah. So I'm actually in the top of a caboose right now, and it's pouring rain. It's dreadful. But yeah, so I'm on a list of Russian disinformation operatives. Who knew?
Talk
right?
about that. How did that happen?
I just don't even know. Like I can't even comprehend it. Because I mean, I've got family in Ukraine. One of the first shows that we did together, Mark, that was right at the beginning of the invasion. We talked about it, and I talked about how I had family in Ukraine. My family was split up during the war, and we've actually got family who are still there, and we've sent translators out to go meet them and videotape them and talk to them and correspond with them. So it's kind of wild that I got put on this list. How did I get put on this list? I have no idea. So, I mean, we can pull up the news article. It talks about how there's certain accounts on Twitter that seem to be influenced by foreign agents, foreign superpowers, if you will. And so, one of those foreign agents was Russia. Another one was the United States. And they talk about China as well, which is also really bizarre that I would be put on this list as an account that was influenced by these sketchy characters. Because I mean, everybody knows that my children are Chinese, right? Like my husband was from Hong Kong. So a lot of people know that I fight back really hard researching and I speak out against the CCP and about the human rights abuses against the Uyghurs and things like that. And I've done a lot of work with that. So, to find my name on this list, and I was in good company. That was the good thing. It was pretty crazy. So maybe let's pull up the article and we can go through it and I'll talk about what I know.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for it. Is it on your Twitter feed right now?
I texted it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to bring it up in a minute. I did have a look at it. And so it names a number of people besides yourself.
Yeah.
It names Ezra Levant, for instance.
Yeah, I actually beat Ezra. I was above him on the Russian disinformation scale that we got put on. Rupa Subramanian was above me. So, and of course, we all did. I mean, what do we all have in common? We all did work on the convoy, right? I mean, okay. I'm pretty sure that I'm not out there putting out. I barely tweeted anything on Russia or Ukraine in quite some time. So and anybody,
you do have a Ukrainian connection. Are you Ukraine? Like, is that your family background?
Yeah. That's my dad's was. He was from Ukraine, right? So and like I said, we've got family there still. So. It was really, really weird. I even put up parts of the videos showing that we had sent translators over to Ukraine because my family lived in a small village and they didn't have sort of reliable communication. And so, we found each other later on in life. Actually, we were separated during the war and we happened to sort of find each other again. So we sent translators over to Ukraine to talk to them, and get to know them and correspond with them. So, for me to be put on this list is really, really wild. If you pull up the article, they do link it to people who were involved in the Freedom Convoy. They say that a lot of people in the Freedom Convoy were also spreading things that they didn't know originated from Russia and China. And again, if you follow me, it's just not, the only things I spread about from China are from, really brilliant geopolitical analysts, right? Like China analysts, who do their work. I'm in an actual group online of, some of the best geopolitical analysts in the world, right? We're talking about Harvard scholars and things like that, Yale graduates. And we share information on China online. This huge group of reporters, we all do it.
Have you done any reporting on China or Russia? I mean, you've done some work on China, right? I mean, you've helped expose, for instance, the ongoing issues around the test kits, the COVID test kits.
We had a deal. Sorry.
Those are your kids.
I knew that they were going to not be able to. Julian, we had a deal, okay? Julian, it's not funny. Okay, behave yourselves for a second. Sorry, I missed your question there entirely because my kids are trying to...
No, it's okay. I mean, I understand. Obviously, they want their mummy back.
Yes.
I mean, have you done any reporting?
Quiet.
On Russia? I mean, have you done anything that might lead some to wonder whether or not you're a Russian operative or being paid by Vladimir Putin?
Well, most people know I don't get paid at all, so that's sort of a bonkers narrative to go with. And I mean, the funny thing is that we had people who were actually spreading genuine Russian disinformation, right? CBC was doing it. How come their handle isn't on there? I mean, so it's kind of wild, to be actually named on this list and to be called out as somebody. And the other thing is that my heading, I wasn't specifically the reports titled Russian Ukrainian misinformation or disinformation, whatever it is, but they were saying that my account was highly influenced by United States actors. And again, that's also very weird because I'm relatively quiet on politics in the United States. You don't see me coming out saying, I want the orange man back and all this stuff, right? Like, I don't really talk about it. I'm not a fan of Biden. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of Trump when he was around either, but it's not something that I discuss. So, are they just putting me on this list because I happen to have a lot of followers in the United States, right? People who say that either, make America great, patriots again. I do have a lot of that. But, again, I don't really get into that. So, it's really, really weird. And I'd be really curious to find out how they came across my handle specifically. And the other people on the list.
Have you confronted the people at the University of Calgary?
No, well, I kind of think that I should, because I feel like this is a little bit of a smear on what I've done. And like I said, I've done a lot of work with a lot of international groups, on human rights and tried to bring awareness to their causes, right? Like I've done a lot of work with people in Pakistan, right? People in Hong Kong, people in, people outside the firewall in China, right? I've got my own Chinese translators who work for me, at risk of maybe that their families in China could get backlash. So it's just crazy. I think that I should call them and ask why I've been put on this list. And again, if you pull up the article, and you should try to find it and pull it up, to go through it, it all comes back to, and what they're saying is they're spreading disinformation about Justin Trudeau. That's what these accounts are doing. Well, I'm sorry, I don't spread disinformation about Justin Trudeau. He does a fine job spreading disinformation all by himself. I don't actually have to do it for him. All I have to do is point out what he's saying, and everybody knows that he's lying, right?
Okay, what are we looking at here? This was your...
This is the list.
this is the CBC. Is the CBC behind this? So you're on the same list as Tulsi Gabbard, Jack Posobiec, uh, Naj Nawaz, Glenn Greenwald,
Yeah.
a person I can't pronounce that name. Rex Glacer. I've seen his tweets out. Like I think we follow each other.
He's a veteran.
Maxime Bernier. Maxime Bernier is on that list. And here you are, the real Andy Lee Show. Ezra Levant is on there as well. And Denis Rancourt. And Denis actually texted me as well, saying, I am not a Russian operative. I'm just me. And the idea that I would be doing anything like that is absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, if you go down through that tweet, you can see my actual family in Ukraine. Right. And like I said, I've posted very, very little on the war. You know, I haven't made a lot of comments on it because it's not, you know, I don't know as much about the, you know, the geopolitics between Russia and Ukraine. So I sort of stay away from it. But I mean, where are they getting this from? Right. And it just seems like and so in that article, the person who's quoted, his name is Christophe Jean Boucher.
Okay.
And so he works at the University of Calgary at this School of Public Policy. And he's also funded. I mean, he works for the Department of Defense. It's the Department of Defense that's funding him. So, I mean.
Okay, so where is, I'm looking at, we're looking at it right now. So
scroll down.
Scroll down. Okay. Okay, that's your family in Ukraine.
That's my family in Ukraine with a translator. Yeah.
We've got a ton of comments here. Let's see. People saying the above state, whatever that means. Let's see. What else? Okay, here's one by Paul Thompson. Russia wants a multipolar world. The Anglo-American establishment can't allow that. Is Soviet Canada. In Soviet Canada, Andy Lee operates you. So I don't even know. Stuff from China like fentanyl. Okay, so this is Paul. Paul is going crazy. Okay, let's go. Brandon, he doesn't like Trudeau. Justin, tell the truth. Okay, so he's very active. But talk a little bit about your family back in Ukraine. Is that possibly one of the reasons why you were flagged by the University of Calgary's public policy folks, researchers?
I have to wonder how much these people know about me. I don't see why they would flag me because I had family in Ukraine. But I mean, I have to wonder how much they do know about my background, if they know anything at all. If this is the Department of Defense saying that I'm spreading, disinformation online. I mean, do you know that my children are Chinese? Do you know that I have family in Ukraine right now? Right? Family who are stuck.
I doubt what was the, you obviously looked at the report. What was the rationale for including you on the list of spreaders of disinformation and Russian propaganda?
Well, again, it said that they studied, if you can find the news story that I sent you, and
okay.
It said that they studied over 6 million tweets.
Okay.
And a lot of those tweets originated from Russia and China and the United States, right? And
okay, so they found connections between your tweets and Russia and China?
Well, I mean, that's apparently what they're saying. But I just don't see it.
Are you a Russian operative?
No, I'm not a Russian operative.
Are you on Vladimir Putin's payroll?
Russian behind the Freedom Convoy. It was me. I did.
Well, you know what they said? I mean, the CBC said at one time that this was quite possibly a Russian-backed operation. I mean, that was one of their conspiracy theories. That's what they were peddling, is that somehow the convoy, which you supported, and I certainly supported, they said that was a Russian-backed attempt to overthrow the country. And so you supporting the convoy, I guess they figured, well, you must be a Russian operative then.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what they're getting at, right? I mean, I just don't know what they're doing. I've got no idea. For them to make this tie between, us, the Freedom Convoy, spreading disinformation about Justin Trudeau. Like, I think it's just another one of those things where it's like, these are people who are dangerous to the regime, right? I would certainly say that, I've been dangerous to the regime, as dangerous as that could be to Trudeau's regime. And certainly Rupa has, Ezra Levin has, right? Everybody on that list has. So, I mean, I just feel like this is some sort of a weird way to tie us back to unsavory characters that, and like I said, if I'm sharing, I mean, most of the tweets I share are from Canadians, right? They originate from Canada. They originate from, mainstream media journalists, right? So it's really, really weird that they would make that connection. I would be very curious to find out how they arrived at that conclusion. And, the University of Calgary is well funded by the federal government. The federal government.
So there's a federal, so there's a federal connection to this. Do you think that somebody in the Trudeau regime put them up to this? Do you think that they might have flagged some people and said, "Hey, we want you to go after Andy Lee. She's been very critical of Justin Trudeau. We don't like her. Can you put her on this list of individuals who are spreading Russian disinformation?"
I don't know what to think anymore. I mean, I think that's probably a little bit further than I would go. Like, do I think my name's on a list somewhere in the Liberal cabinet? Yeah, I do. Are they saying to go after me? Maybe they are, right? I don't know. I did promise I was going to come to Parliament Hill, Canada Day, with a lot of people. So, but I mean, I think it's just more of this agenda that we see where, we see these special interest groups. We see a lot of them are, they operate under the context of, fairness, equality, inclusivity. A lot of them are race-based groups. They get a lot of federal funding. And what they do is they sort of push this narrative that, there's bad actors in the right wing, and that those people are spreading disinformation should be censored, right? So I think that this is more just like it's a report that was sort of to further the censorship agenda. Because if you can say, yeah, Andy Lee is tied to bad Russian actors, she should be shut down. Yeah, I think that they probably could get me shut down, right? But like I said, I just
But
don't
Andy,
see it.
you've already been shut down.
Yeah, I know.
You've already been booted off Twitter once. And now, I mean, you've been threatened repeatedly with more deplatforming. And so how do you tie is all of this tied in? The fact that you've been booted off Twitter, you lost thousands of followers, you gained them all back. And now you have the School of Public Policy saying Andy Lee is on a list of peddlers of Russian disinformation.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's a pretty dark thing. I mean, I'm making fun of it, but when you actually think of it, this organization is they're like the person who's quoted, he is funded directly by the Department of Defense, right? He's part of the NSA. So, to have him talking about this study and doing this study where my name's on it, am I a threat to national security? No, I'm not. I mean, everybody knows I'm trying to protect.
All right, well, you've got some comments here. You threatened them by seeing through their BS. That is by CH, who goes on to say, you're not on Trudeau's payroll, so he figures you must be on Putin's. Paul Thompson says, bad Russian actors like Yakov Smirnov. Go on, Viva Frey. He gets thousands of viewers. I don't know who that is. Okay, so obviously you have some of your followers who are definitely in your corner.
Well,
I mean, how far could this be a threat to you? I mean, could the government use this against you? The fact that this School of Public Policy, this liberal institution, has put you on a list of Russian spreaders of disinformation.
I feel that this is a way of striking back at people who supported the Freedom Convoy and helped the Freedom Convoy movement. That's what I see there when I look at those lists and I look at those names. That's what I see is what most of these people have done. So is this a way of trying to smear people who tried to report fairly and debunk the use of the Emergencies Act? And we did debunk it. Guess what? It's falling apart. Mendocino's been busted lying who knows how many times. We've got another committee meeting tomorrow, which I'm going to be all over, camping or not. So I really do think that this is the start of them lashing back out at the reporters that tried to report fairly on the Freedom Convoy and supported it as well. I think that this is them trying to smear us. I really do. That's what I see here.
Well,
And
when
if
are you
that's
going to, I mean, you're a fighter. Why don't you deal with these people, call up these people who wrote this report, this Jean-Christophe Boucher, Jack Edwards, Jenny Kim, Abbas Badami, and Henry Smith, and say, this is a bunch of crap. What are you guys doing? I mean, I have nothing to do with Russia.
I mean, show me how many of my tweets originate in the United States. Show me how many of them originate in China. Show me how many of them originate in Russia. You can go on my site anytime. Julian, go on. I'm almost done here. You've got to go down. You've got to go down. You're gonna. Yeah.
Hello.
That's my.
Okay. Look, we're gonna give you your mommy back in a few minutes. Okay. Now go back and be good. Go back and be good, Julian.
Chinese misinformation operative. Okay, Julian, I need you to go back.
Okay.
Seriously.
All right. So, okay. Thank you. Julian wants his mommy back.
How much more minutes until you?
Don't worry about it. I'm done when I'm done. I think.
5.
Yeah, like 10. I think that they should show me where my tweets and which of my tweets have originated in those countries that I've shared, because I just don't see it. You can go on my timeline right now. Basically, everything I've shared, as far as I can tell, originated in Canada from Canadian journalists.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so, well, we can go on your timeline. And let's see. Let's make this go away. I mean, if we go right back, to your most recent stuff? I mean, all right. I'm gonna bring it up and let's have a look, because I agree with you. I mean, I've never seen anything from you that would suggest that you are spreading Russian disinfo. Oh, here's something with Greta Thunberg on it, though. Let's see. Let's bring back what I was censored for.
That's not me. Who
This is your page, the Real Andy Lee Show.
Oh no, we got hacked the other day. Hold on.
Well, okay. So you retweeted my interview with Leslyn Lewis. Is that not you?
Let's see. I could have also. My kids fool around with my phone a lot, so I could have.
Okay, you retweeted this Michael Geist tweet. I guess that could be deemed to be suspicious. Liberals and NDP combine to set roadmap for pushing C11 through House. Kean Bexty. I know they don't like Kean. You are retweeting him. Happening now. A group of radical climate change activists have restarted blocking highways in British Columbia. Wally Doan. Okay, so look.
Back to
nothing
the show.
Suspicious here. I mean, I haven't seen anything here that suggests that you are tweeting out Russian disinformation. There's been very little about the Ukraine war that I've seen. Have you been retweeting anything sympathetic to Putin at all?
Oh my God! Of course I wouldn't. Are you kidding me? There's nothing to indicate that, right? And a lot of people have been talking about maybe there's also unsavory.
You're allowed to, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we still have a measure of free speech. You're still allowed to say that, maybe the Ukraine war should be resolved through peace discussions, peace negotiations, and possibly the discussion around territory. I mean, if it ends the bloodshed, is it worth it? Zelensky obviously doesn't want to give up any territory. Ukraine doesn't want to give up any territory, but I mean, at some point, the Russians are going to take over a good chunk of. They already taken over a good chunk of eastern Ukraine, and their military continues to make gains. And the Ukrainian military, conversely, has continued to suffer. So anyway, I don't see anything here that would alarm anybody or should alarm anybody. So again, I don't know what they're talking about.
Unless all of the independents in Canada are Russian operatives, or United States operatives, and we're all backed by shady foreign funding. I just don't get it, right? I don't get where they got this from. And like I said, that they tie it to people who supported the Freedom Convoy and people who they say spread disinformation about Trudeau. I think that it's just another one of these agendas, to combat some of the, the rise of the independents. I thought that
one of the comments is maybe your kids are Russian assets.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
You better ask them. Get Julian over here. See if he knows any words in Russian.
They're little spies in training. That was funny.
Anyway, you're in the dark here, so we can no longer see you.
Oh, okay. I actually lost my StreamYard, and I'm scared of closing it.
Well, no, you won't be able to close it from your end. Just go into the studio.
Okay.
Let's see, what else have we got here? Definitely terrifying, Paul. They're smearing Andy for being a good reporter. The lying politician's arch enemy. Let's see. Okay, well, I think we're still looking into that. We're still looking into the possibility. We're still looking into the possibility that Julian is a Russian asset. You may want to ask him.
He could be. You never know, right? I mean, start him young. I mean, right? Yeah.
Here's another comment. I'm sure they'll be accused too once they write accurate reports. All right, so they're afraid of accurate journalism here. Well, I bet the tree protesters are foreign funded.
That's what I see. But I mean, like, let's face it, it's a little bit alarming that, we've got the federally funded Department of Defense, putting, these people putting this report out, targeting independent journalists in our country. I mean, what's going on here? Like, really?
I don't know what's going on. All right, so I think we're going to wrap things up because your kids want you back.
I know,
it's all well and good. Okay, so you're camping somewhere in Alberta?
Yeah.
You're in an undisclosed location. Now you're not. Okay, Julian, are you in Russia right now? Maybe he'll come clean.
Are you a Chinese operative?
Yes.
Is there something I need?
Okay, there we go. We have an admission. Okay, well, I think you're allowed to be, because Justin Trudeau loves Chinese-style dictatorship, so I think he's okay with Julian. It's only the Russians that he doesn't like.
I think we should call. Well, I mean, Melanie Joly seemed to have no problem with Russians. We had our.
They sent somebody to a party.
Yeah, they went to a party at the Russian embassy, right? So,
look, they can't say no to a party. I mean, that's part of the Trudeau government's biggest problem.
I think that this is what this is. I think our government's coming after some independent journalists, right? And I think that I happen to be on that list. And there's a lot of good people, I think, that are on that list. So, like I said, I felt like I was in pretty good company there. I'm going to dig into it more. And yeah, I should actually, Julian, please, you did not promise me to do this. Okay. And, yeah, I think that I should ask them like exactly how they went through these 6 million tweets and decided that, I was being foreignly influenced.
You know what? Why don't you look into it and get back to us?
Yeah.
All right.
About the funding and all of it, and about every single one of these authors and what their agendas are. So that's probably my, I'm focused on James Top and getting James Top.
Yes, he's still on his way to Ottawa, right? He's still okay.
But I'm gonna,
Andy, thank you.
So yeah, nice to see you, and sorry about the interruptions.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
Kids will be kids. Right?
Yes. Well, he's obviously trying to stop you from saying what you're saying because he's a Chinese operative.
Yeah, I know. That's right. I mean, we all know who fights back.
Uh,
Who strikes back against Chinese influence in Canada? It's me, right? I fight back a lot harder than Justin Trudeau ever did.
you got that right.
And I've
That guy's on the take. All right, Andy. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your camping trip.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Let's
Bye, Julian.
Let's order the Calgary Flames.
Go Calgary Flames. Yeah. Well, they're long
No.
gone, but what can I say?
Oilers.
Maybe next season. Maybe next season.
The Oilers.
Yeah. All right. Bye. All right. That was Andy Lee and Julian in camping somewhere in the wilds of Alberta. And that's it for this edition of the Mark Petrone segment. Hope you enjoyed that. And we're going to take a brief commercial break. Back with more on News Talk Saga 960 and the Mark Petrone Show after this.